All right, we are going live. It is loading right now. All right, got it. Let me record. All right. All right, everything good. And just one more check. The sound effects real quick. Lithi and Tui, give me a thumbs up if you can hear the sound effects. Good. All right. We are live, yo. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another session of the Governor Cloud Podcast. What's up, everybody? You guys already know my name is Will. I'm the host of this show. I hope you guys enjoy that sound effects. I got my sound effects back for you guys. If you guys are tuning in for the very first time, thank you so much for tuning in. We got a great show for you guys. We got a great panel of guests. We got a hot topic for you guys tonight. And all my subscribers out there to show love and support. Thank you so much for all the love and support. If you love the content, if you love what I do, and support me, press that like, subscribe channel, and support your Toko real quick. Also, real quick, I do have a disclaimer real quick for those who are under the age of 18. I do have a disclaimer for those who are going to tune in and watch my content. I do have a disclaimer button real quick. I'm going to press that button right now.
This content is not suitable for the children under the age of 18 without adult supervision. Please be
advised. All right, that's my disclaimer button. So, Savage, thank you for the voiceover. So
that voice sounds familiar.
So, Savage, thank you so much for using your voice. But that's going to have a disclaimer button in every single podcast video for all those out there under the age of 18. Make sure you guys have adult supervision. This is for adult conversations only. All right, you guys already know for the live chat. If you're watching this right now live, you guys already know we have the live chat going. So let's get the live chat going. Let me know what your thoughts for all those who always watch my shows and participate, always sharing their thoughts and experiences on the live chat. I'm always open to hear it. Definitely drop a live chat. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know where you guys from. And I appreciate you guys always showing so much love and support in the live chat real quick. Don't forget, we got the super chat donations. If you guys want to truly support my channel, thank you so much to Swan and A-Lay Trade from last week. You guys definitely supported my channel last week. Thank you so much for the super chat donation, financial donation. So if you guys want to support me fully, help me get my dream podcast studio, which I'm currently building right now in San Francisco. If you guys want to support me, drop a super chat donation. And also don't forget, if you do drop a super chat donation, drop it through a question, drop it through a topic, or drop it through something that you want us to discuss live, and we'll be able to discuss it live in response to you live. And I'll be able to respond to you guys live, whether it's through me or whether it's through the guests. So drop a question, your super chat donation to a question that you guys want us to answer live on the show to reciprocate your donation. So thank you so much. But also don't forget, we do have the public Zoom show. So don't forget, if you guys want to be part of this conversation, we do have the public Zoom link that I posted on my social media pages. I'm going to post it right now on the chat. So if you guys want to be part of the conversation, I know there's a lot of people out there that are triggered out there. I do have something to say. If you guys have something to say, if you guys want to be part of this conversation, and I always open people to come on here and have open dialogue. But like I said, my only rules are just be respectful. Just come here, respect the platform, respect me as a host, respect the guests. As long as you keep it respectful, we'll be able to entertain you, have a conversation. But don't forget, just keep watching the show. I do have a list of names I see on my channel right now. If people want to join in. Just wait throughout the show. There will be time to intervals throughout the show that will allow you to jump on. I'll call your name out, and you'll be able to come on the show and be part of this, and also share your thoughts on the topic in hand. But nevertheless, let's get right into it. Let's go into the introduction real quick. So ladies, can you go ahead and introduce yourselves real quick? Who you are, what do you do? And we'll get the show started. So I'll start with you, Lithi. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lithi. It's my second time on here, so I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, Willie, for inviting me to do this. I am a stay-at-home mom. Sorry. I am a stay-at-home mom. And I do have 4 kids. And my husband, as you guys all know, Savage himself, he's always on this live. And other than that, you know, if you want to know anything, just hit me up and ask.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah, all the like I just said, all the haters out there. All right, don't forget. Also, you're a rugby player too, right? You play rugby.
Yeah, I do that as an outlet, just so I don't deal with Henry. Savage. Nah. So I do that in the meantime, just, just to stay active. One of the reasons why I do it too, just for my kids, you never get old to do anything, so I want my kids to look up to me and in a way that I'm not just doing it just to have fun. I'm doing it just to stay active and, I don't want them to inspire someone that they don't know all their lives. I want them to inspire me. But so that's why part of it, why I do it, why I play rugby on the side. Just, it's a hobby and all of that, just for my kids. So
no worries. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Lithi, thank you so much. And shout out to all the rugby players out there. And shout out to all the stay-at-home moms out there, raising the next generation of kids. Make sure we have a great support system. Thank you so much, Lithi. Always appreciate you. Always blessed to have you on the show. And my sister all the way from Hawaii, you already know Tui. Everybody knows this familiar face. Go ahead, Tui. Introduce yourself real quick.
My name is Tui, and I want to be a stay-at-home mom. I would introduce myself, but watch the other lives and you watch the other videos and you guys will know everything there is to know about me. Probably too much. Oh. I'm the mayor of the west side of Oahu. Look me up.
All right, no worries. So Tui, you said you want to be a stay-at-home mom. Is that an indirect way of saying that you're accepting applications for a husband?
Nah, not until I lose all the weight. So next year around end of summer.
All right, end of summer. All right.
I know. Shoot your shot end of summer, guys.
All right, shoot your shot, y'all.
Just kidding.
All right, all right. Thank you so much, Tui. Thank you so much, Lithi, for jumping off the conversation. And thank you much for everybody that's watching this right now, just tuning in. Thank you so much for all you guys out there. And like I said, we have a great topic for you guys tonight. The topic at hand is modern women having kids choosing to have kids out of wedlock. Is this a concern for the future of families? So I know a lot of you guys probably watching this right now. You guys saw my highlight video I post every single Monday. So I have my stances on it, but you guys already know what my stance is. But I'm interested to start the conversation and to hear what the ladies have to say. I'm sure they've seen it also. So I'll start with you, Lithi. Lithi, what's your thoughts about the topic? Modern women choosing to have kids out of wedlock. Is this a concern for you or not? I'm interested to hear your thoughts about it. Go ahead, Lithi.
So, I was raised a little bit different from a lot of the people that was raised out here. I didn't grow up out here my whole life. So I grew up like the whole traditional, like you gotta get married, find a husband, and you can't have sex until you guys are married, things like that. And, being that I grew up in Tonga, a part of my life, I did follow that, because to be honest, I know it's too much information, but I really don't care. Yeah. I've only been with one person, so, and it's not to just throw it out there. I'm not saying that's because, I'm better than anybody or anything like that. It's because I really did practice that lifestyle, because that's how I was raised. But the one thing that from that question alone, because I don't want to go off subject, was when I had my first daughter, being that I was raised the Tongan way, or however they call it, Polynesian, or I guess I hurt a lot of my family members, because I wasn't married to my husband at the time. Yeah. We dated for a while, and then of course I got pregnant, and we were just not ready. We were what do you call it? Like we were still both young, So to me, it doesn't really affect what's in the future, honestly, because I'm not trying to knock other people, but I've seen couple who had the biggest wedding out there and not even together, things like that. And why I say that, I feel like it doesn't really matter. Like, you're going to have a kid out of wedlock. It's not going to change the future. The future is going to happen going off by what your decision that you make moving forward. You know what I'm saying? So we had a kid out of wedlock. We weren't married. But that didn't stop the love that we have for each other. That didn't stop what the future has for us. Because, 12 years later on, we're still together, you know, and I can't tell you our relationship is far better from a lot of relationships. I'm not comparing it to other people, but I can boldly say like we have the best relationship, you know. And even though we weren't married until a couple of years later after having a kid, I did upset a lot of my elders, you know, because they look at it as like I knew better. I should have been married before I had a kid, but shit happens, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and being that, like I said, like I don't know if you guys or the people out there watch the other live that we've had. I'm not saying like it doesn't make me a bad person just because I didn't get married, and you know it doesn't make me. It's not gonna dictate my future off of because we weren't married, and you know what I mean. Like it does not change anything in the future because we don't know what's gonna happen in the future. But I will say like I think it's a traditional kind of like mindset. Like I grew up that way, but at the same time, I'm grateful that I came here at a time and an age that I was able to adjust to the living out here in America and still respect my traditional, like, you know, things like that. So I don't think it does not affect anything in the future. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I have to say. Like I said, I'm speaking from my own experience. And I can't speak for anybody else's account.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say like just from my experience, it doesn't dictate our future. We ended up getting married anyways. So yeah, there.
Yeah. And let me ask you, Lithi, when you had kids and I'm assuming that, you know, the person you're talking about, Savage, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So during that time when you had kids, and the reason why I brought up the question because, you know, I know a lot of people out, you know, you guys all know I'm a big facts guy.
Facts over feelings.
Facts over feelings. You know, I do look at the statistics, right? So, and the reason why I bring it up is, you know, for a lot of women, statistically, if you don't attract a marriage from a man or have, if you try to raise the kids on your own, statistically, there's a lot of things that can happen. You know, not only, you know, I brought it up, you know, with children, you know, this affects the children or what they do in their life, also affects the quality of your life. You know, trying to do everything on your own, so financially. So, but I want to ask you is, even though you didn't have kids, but did you guys already know that you were going to get married?
I mean, of course, because like I said, we dated for a few years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we didn't just date and then get pregnant. You know what I mean? Because like I said, we did everything. I guess like from the way I was raised, some of it did help because I had respect for myself. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't just out there like, like, you know, let's have a kid. Or we did have a relationship with each other to where it was enough to where we vibe each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like even though we weren't ready to get married, we couldn't like we couldn't stand without, like, we wanted to be with each other all the time. Okay. You know, so in like I said, when we got pregnant, it didn't change anything. It didn't you know what I'm saying? It didn't like, oh, you got pregnant, now I got to dip. You know what I'm saying? Like it was really just like we had a chemistry already because we dated for a few years before having a kid. You know, some people they get pregnant right away, and you know, I'm like I said, it doesn't. It just depends on who you are, like who you guys are, like
Well, so you guys already dated a couple of years. So the thing is that you already had a committed relationship, right? Mm-hmm. It's just the only thing was missing was the title.
Yes.
Was the title. Yeah, yes. But you already attracted commitment from the man, right?
Yes.
And then see, for me, that's where I think I think your situation is like very unique, and it's a different situation. But the reason why marriage is important for all the young women that's watching this is because you need commitment from a man, right? And the best way for a man to prove his commitment, in my opinion, is because we know there's a lot of bullshit out there. Can we all agree? There's a lot of men out there that's bullshitting, right? Yeah. So, but I'm just saying is if you want to attract commitment from a man that's gonna really commit to you, not only financially, but because no man is gonna marry you just to waste time. Like no man is just gonna marry you just to see where this goes. Like if a man marries you, like in my opinion, that's the highest form of commitment that a man can show a woman right now, if he chooses to marry you. Because men know that once I commit to you through marriage, it's an obligation, not only financially, there's an obligation as a community, as my family. Like it's a full-time commitment. I'm not just gonna marry you just to like, I'll see where this goes. Like if men marry somebody, it's a full commitment. And then that's why the marriage aspect for me is important, because now you're getting commitment from men. I think your situation is unique because you already had the commitment. It's just you just needed the title.
Yeah. That was my experience. I'm not saying that everybody out there is like that. Yeah. But I have to say, like, there's still a couple out there are successful and they're not even married. Honestly, we you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying like marriage is not important, but I've seen couple that's successful and didn't have to get married. But I'm not saying like go get married, because you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to make that clear. Like, like marriage is important. Like I definitely agree with that. But whatever works for you, you know what I mean? It just depends on who you are. Like you don't have to, like, just because you have a kid out of wedlock you don't get punished for it, or you know what I'm saying? Like I guess what I'm saying is the future, you don't know what's going to happen in the future. Like, you know?
But let me I will ask you just one question. I'm going to Lithi.
Oh, okay.
You said the future, there's always going to be a future. But let me ask you, Lithi, if you have kids out of wedlock and you haven't attracted commitment from a man, see, the thing is, you already had a relationship, right? You had a couple of years and you say you already have a meaningful bond. But the thing is, there's a lot of girls out there that having sex and kids, and they haven't even spent years. They've only been knowing this guy for a couple of weeks, couple of months, less than a year. And statistically, if you have kids within a year, like within a year of knowing somebody, it's like the chances of that of failure is high. But you already built a bond. So the thing is, what I ask you is like, what's going to be a better future for a woman, to have kids out of wedlock or to spend time building a relationship first and then have kids? Or then have sex. Yeah,
building a relationship, of course, and then do all that. But I still feel like the marriage, it's you know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't like you could build a relationship with each other and continuing living with each other and not have a marriage, and it still won't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to say like, oh, marriage is not important, but I'm saying if it does get there, then get married. But with my situation, a little bit different. I can't speak for people, who just have yeah. So that's what I'm meaning. I think we're on the same page. I just wanted to make that clear. Like, marriage is important until you go through the process of building that relationship with that person, and of course having a kid, then get married. But I'm not gonna just tell you like, okay, go have a kid before you have the kid, get married. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it's not gonna change the future.
No. All I'm saying is, what's the better route, right? Because the thing is, I would say, you found a good man. Savage is a good man out there. He's a little crazy, but he's a good.
I'm just. But you're right. It's spending time with each other. Spending time with each other, really getting to know each other. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy to get to where I'm at today. And it's still not perfect. You know what I'm saying? We're still dealing with things that we're still dealing with. But at the same time, the easiest route is really getting to know that person. Don't just have sex when you first meet each other. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
So
So that's why I will bring up. I mean, you build a relationship first. So that makes sense. All right. Tui. Same question. Modern women choosing to have kids out of wedlock. Is this a concern? Not a concern? What are your thoughts?
I'm just gonna drop my personal experience first. So I did have sex with my husband the first time we met and hung out.
Yeah.
And we hung out every day for almost 2 months, and we got married the beginning of the third month. And then we popped out a baby, and we're married for almost 10 years until he passed. So what I would suggest is that you really work through any trauma that you have or emotional issues before you even start dating, because you're going to take all that baggage into your relationship. And if you want to fuck your shit up for 4 or 10 dudes until you figure out that you're the problem, go ahead. It's just a lot fucking harder. But as for having kids out of wedlock, my personal opinion,
Yeah.
again, it all comes down to what kind, like, are you a mentally stable and mentally healthy person to either make it work with your baby's father or stay together or be in a relationship? Like, you can't do it on your own. It's extra hard and it sucks, but you can do it. You're just going to have a lot more issues as a single parent. But if we're talking statistics and societal, then no, definitely not. Like, don't have children. Okay, so Ben Shapiro said that Asians are more successful when they come to America because they don't have babies before they're married. They finish high school and they work after they graduate. So if those are the 3 basic minimum requirements, like, it's perfectly feasible to wait to have kids. There's over 80 different forms of contraception. So I think the real question is, why aren't people using them? Like, modern women can do whatever they want, shake your naked ass, show your titties on the internet, do whatever the fuck you want, get birth control. Because bringing children into this world as a single parent, you're teaching your child a lot. Like, the society that we live in today is not a stable society, not financially, not emotionally. Mm-hmm. And the way that our society is teaching our kids, it's desensitizing them to people. So they're not acting like people, they're acting like little assholes, because it's a reflection of us. Like, we are constantly on our phones. We're constantly, like, we give our phones, iPads, these things to our kids because they're babysitting them. And then we're desensitizing them by doing these things. And so as a single parent, you're going to be doing that 2 times more or 5 times more as a single parent than you would with a 2-parent household.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's stupid. Don't bring children into this world without a partner. My husband passed, and I still have like familial support with my daughter, but it's fucking hard. I think I bring that up every time I'm on your podcast. Like, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna find the rest of my friends who also have dead husbands, and we're gonna do a podcast, Dead Husband Club. Yeah,
we can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I bring that up every time. I'm sorry to all your viewers.
No, it's good. It's always good to go to do the flashback.
They're like, oh, there's two with their cup on the bars. Fucking shoulda, coulda, wouldas again.
All right. So that was my point, right? Because, the reality is there's a lot of women out there. There's like millions, or in America, but maybe the whole world is billions of women out there that have kids out of wedlock and don't have a husband. And for me, statistically, it's hard to raise a child on their own. If you want to see it from an economics point of view, from a financial point of view, two people working together, bringing in money together, income together, is a lot better than one person handling all that responsibility. And also for all the young moms out there, right? Usually they have to fulfill all the roles of being a mom, but they also have to fulfill the other roles of being a dad. And based on the statistics alone, but also personal experiences, and when I talk to single moms, they always tell me the same thing. It's one of the hardest things to ever do, is to raise children on their own without the help and assistance from the father. So for me, I do see a concern, because I do see in America, it's normalized now having kids out of wedlock. I remember Lithi, I think he brought it up when he grew up. Having kids out of wedlock was seen as a bad thing, right? And it was like, oh my shit, if you already know, people's perception towards it. But I think outside okay, let's take the cultural or the religious the religion out of it, right? But I think it's just I think our parents, I think if you take the religion out of it, but I think our parents just knew that it is a bad thing, because I think the older generation, knew that if you have kids without the support of a healthy father, they know that your life is going to struggle. That's why they tell their daughters, hey, don't do it. It's a bad thing. Not because of God or anything. I'm not take that away, but I'm just saying that the older, our parents knew that if you their daughter had a child without marriage, without the commitment, without the assistance with the strong, healthy father, they knew that their daughter was going to struggle and it's going to be hard. So that's why they told you it's a bad thing. And that's where I'm coming from. I'm not coming from a religious view. I'm keeping religion out of it. I'm just keeping from a practical view to live a quality of life and to have a healthy family. Mm-hmm. If this is what we're in America, this is what we're normalizing. Don't you guys see a concern that this is going to lead to a lot of lonely moms, single children without a father? And that's a concern for me. So it's like, is this? I think it's wrong to tell young girls out today, hey, go out there, have sex, go out there and be promiscuous, go out there and be hoes and shake your ass and just have casual sex with random men and one night stands, And you see this all over TikTok and social media. That's cool. It's like, I just had a one night stand on TikTok. They post it, and everybody laughs about it. Yeah, everybody laughs about it until the reality hits, and you all alone, and you're raising this child on your own or multiple kids on your own. So for me, it's like, I want to ask you guys: is this something that we want to normalize? Is this something we want to be cool about it? Because I'm totally against it. Because I think it's better to be with a partner, and it's better to raise kids with somebody that is committed to you, that's going to help you, assist you. And it's not only for you as a partner, but also for the kids as well. But if we're moving into a direction that, it's okay, don't you guys see a concern? Because I know both of you guys have daughters. So I'm interested to hear your perspective, what you tell your daughters, But yeah, like, what do you like? Do you think should be normalized, Lithi? It should be okay, or this is something we should be against?
To shake your ass?
No, no.
No.
Yeah, if you want to.
No, not normalized. Because I mean, I'll take the whole religion. Just don't mind me. This is just the way I was raised,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
But it's crazy how back in the days our ancestors was just fucking each other. Like they had kids. I remember looking at our fucking family tree and all that. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them don't have a dad. Yeah. So they kind of already went through all that, and they're trying to school us like, hey man, it was hard. Not, because I'll be honest, for my mom, out of my experience, it wasn't easy for her to have, my dad, left my mom, and then she was a single mom, and then sent us to Tonga, because she knew it wasn't a good place for us to be here with her, having to work and having to drop us to people's house and things like that. So even at that, they did that, they got married and was in a relationship for 14 years, and mm-hmm. even at that, it wasn't even working out. Why I was saying the future, it didn't really matter whether if you're going to have a kid out of wedlock or married, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we're not normalizing it, but I was just speaking as from my experience, even though my mom and my dad did everything the right way, they still split up. And so, yes, in a lot of ways, let's not normalize it. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Because I think my thing was, I saw how hard it was for my mom because we didn't get to grow up with my mom. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I get to grow up with a whole lot of people, different people, but she had us all in the right way. She got married. She was good. And, even at that single mom, she was struggling because we had to be in Tonga and not be with her. So I think what I'm trying to say is that the decision that you make does affect your next move. So whether if you get married and, okay, I just don't want to sound like I'm trying to say to normalize just having sex and saying all that, because like I said, for me, I had the baby out of wedlock, but it was because me and my husband already established a relationship. We've already had that chemistry. So it was good because then we got married and, things happened from that. From there, we had hella kids after that. Yeah. But for my mom's experience, it was different. She got married the right way. had us all like everything that she did was right. But 14 years later down the road, things went left. And here we are growing up with someone else other than our parents, because so whether if you have a kid or out of wedlock, I don't think that, I don't want to say it like that. I don't want to say like let's normalize it. But at the same time, I don't think that even it doesn't it change your future. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
well, yeah, well, but I would say this: if you don't think so, okay. Do you think is it bad? Do you think it's? I mean, let me ask you: do you think there's a better option? Because I would say this: like, what age did your mom? What age did your mom separate?
What year?
Yeah. Well, how old are you?
I was 2 when they separated.
Oh, okay, you were 2 years old. Okay.
But my older sister was me and her. I have an older sister. We're like 10 years apart.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That like
Yeah.
they got divorced. I mean, he stepped out of their marriage, but they got divorced. And even at that, that didn't dictate from how they still did their marriage in the right way. I guess that, they call it, they did it all in the right way in the church and all of that stuff. So I'm not saying normalizing it. I'm just saying, like, I think because I want to take this whole traditional mindset and all that, I want to take it out of the picture because we're talking in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that if you and your partner establish a relationship, like I said earlier, then I don't think having a kid in wedlock is gonna change anything. Or do you understand what I'm saying or not?
No. I think for you it's because you had a situation that worked out for you, right? But the thing is what I'm asking, because we're talking about everything generalization, right? So
yeah.
Is your situation gonna work for everybody? So that's what I'm saying is what, because then we're trying to figure out like what's the solution, what's a better way? Is this going to concern? So if we're not going to normalize it, okay, then what are you going to offer to replace?
What is the solution then?
Yeah, what's a better way to do it then? Because apparently because like I said, the reality is a lot of these girls are doing it and they're struggling.
And having a kid and the consequences having a kid.
They're having consequences, depression. Some are there's having suicide. Some of them are struggling financially in poverty. So like if you say that, okay, you don't have to get married, but then okay, then what's your solution to because I think marriage is a lot better statistically. It's a lot better.
So you're saying getting married. So you're saying getting married is going to change that?
No, I'm not guaranteeing happiness, right? I'm not guaranteeing it, but I'm saying is if you had to pick a better route, a better path, I think taking the marriage route would be a lot better. Will be a better chance for you, but you still have to make it work,
right?
But the thing is, a better route to get married first, and then instead of just having sex and then having kids out of wedlock, because that route seems a lot worse than the marriage route.
I guess. Okay, then. No. What I'm basically
such a broad topic. There's so much to cram into like
an
hour and a half. That, I'm trying to think of how to give my answers like short and effective, because there's it comes down to our society. Our society is sick, and when I say sick, not disgusting. I mean it is, but like our society, like people are sick. They think it's okay to be like to be naked, in front of the world, and it's empowering. Maybe it is, but the fact of the matter is it's hypersexualizing like young people, and they're getting younger every year. Like when I was in high school, it was like 20 was like when people would really start to like get comfortable with their sexuality, their bodies.
Yes.
Now it's 14. Like
wow.
now they're getting comfortable half naked when they're 14, and it's even worse because it's on social media and it's on something that was supposed to be fun and to make music videos on, and then adults take it and make it something that it shouldn't be. But like it all starts at a societal level, and you guys were taking religion out of it, and just speaking in general, and I just want to add economics to that as well. Like the average Polynesian household pulls 60 to 65,000 a year. And that's as a household. And you guys know that in a normal Polynesian household, there's not just two parents. There's the parents of the couple, sometimes the grandparents. So as a collective, you're all pulling in 15 to 20,000 a year. So on average, those people are having kids. And if only one of them is taking care of those kids, you're adding kids to those households. You know, like we're pulling 60 to 65,000 as a household against, that's 10,000 less than non-ethnic minority households. And like, it's just, we shouldn't be, you know, fucking around like this, but what are you gonna do?
Okay. So we're talking about marriage, right? So I think it's good to define what marriage is, you know, because, you know, usually when people think of marriage, they think of the traditional sense, right? You know, you get married to a, you know, you get married to a man and you go through your wedding vows, and that's why people see marriage. For me, marriage is when a man decides to commit to you and take the responsibility to fulfill his role as a man, which is being the provider, protector, and being financially obligated to take care of the family and providing the woman security. So back in the day, what a marriage, the reason why, like, I think Tui said economics, right? That's where marriage came from, was, you know, a woman would stay as a virgin, right? And you're exchanging something. I'm going to exchange my sexuality to you for you to have access to me. And what the woman gets in return is she gets access to his commitment to provide stability and security for that woman, right? And then the religion, that's what marriage really is, Rick. Okay, I'm gonna have access to your body as a woman. That's why you're gonna give me your commitment that you're only gonna share your body with me as a man. And me as a man, what I'm gonna bring to you, I'm gonna give you security, commitment, and be a provider, protector for you, right? So the thing is, for you, Lithi, you were able to obtain that commitment from your man without getting married, right? So let's take away the marriage part. Like, you don't have to get married traditionally, in America. I'm saying is, can you attract commitment from a man that's willing to give you security as a woman and be that provider, protector, and take that responsibility of being a father and raising a family with you? And that's what I mean when I say marriage. Whether if it's the wedding, or whether you just build a relationship with a man and he's, you know what, I love you. I want to take care of you. I want to provide for you. I want to give you security. So my question is like, how can, that's why I believe in marriage, because I think the only way for a woman to get that commitment from a man and not waste time with those men that's kind of bullshitty or waste your time is get them to marry you. Because if you want a man to fully commit to you, take you seriously, the best way you can find that out as a man is if he marries, right? You know, because no man's gonna marry you just like for no man's gonna marry you if he's not gonna take you seriously. I'm not gonna marry. If a woman said, "Hey, if I want sex from a woman," and she tells me, "You know what? If you want sex with me, you want me to have sex with you, you have to marry me." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna marry him. I don't see you. I just want to hit you. I just want to smash you. So I'm not gonna marry just to smash. I'm going out there. There's more girls out there that's gonna give it up. So I'm gonna go to those girls because they're gonna give it up to me, and I'm gonna just have my fun with them, and then find another woman later." So for me, as a woman, the best way to protect yourself and get commitment from men is they have to marry you. Because if the man's willing to marry you to have sex with you, then that's your way as a woman. That's gonna indicate for you that, you know what, he's not wasting his time. He's taking me seriously, and that's my best bet, is to be with a guy that's willing to marry you. Because we're not gonna just marry you, just have sex. And if the guys are gonna just have sex with you and promise you marriage later, they're just bullshitting you. They're gonna tell you what you want to hear to get it and then leave. All right. But if they really go through with it, no man's gonna just gonna have sex with you, just marry you, just have sex with you, because that's a full commitment. And that's what I'm saying is, like, how can we? I want to ask both you and Tui, is there a way for women to attract full commitment, financial commitment, obligation, and moral responsibility from a man without marriage? Is there a way to do that? Because I think there's not. I don't think you can attract full commitment from a man unless you get them to marry you. All right, maybe you meet guys like Savage, right? That's gonna build a relationship, but at the end of the day, like, how many men are like?
He's not that great.
Right, but all I'm saying is, like, how can women attract a provider protector, a guy that's willing to take the role of the provider protector and give you security without marriage, because that's what marriage does now. It's like now it's on paper, now it's legal. Now the man is like, oh shit, I'm in it for the long haul. So now he's obligated to be with you, and that's what relationships are. That's what marriage is. Like, we're both making a vow that we're gonna make this work. But if you take away the marriage part and just go off by words, because the marriage now it's a vow, not only on paper, but now it's a vow in front of the family, in front of your families. So now you bring your families involved. Now you have the community obligation. I'm not doing it for myself, I'm doing my family. Like, I have to follow through with this. But if you take that away, and if you want to go off by what a man's gonna say to you, you just go off by words but no actions. Is this like, I'm saying, like, how can you commit, like, as women, like, how can you attract commitment and full term obligation and responsibility from a man to you without marriage? Because I don't see any other way unless the guy marries it.
You can. It just depends what kind of man you're willing to like settle with, because I mean, marriage does provide, like, it provides a commitment, because dating is the reassurance that they can stand you long enough that they could see a lot spending their life with you, and the marriage is just the commitment reaffirming that. So
that's what I'm saying.
But I mean, you can find men who will take care of their financial responsibility if you do have children together. But like I said, it depends on what kind of man you're willing to pull. Because if you want a high value man, I mean, yeah, it's not going to work. But sorry, yeah, go ahead.
No. I'm just interested here, like, how can women, how can girls out there, if they do want a good man, they do want to get commitment from men to be great fathers and take the responsibility to provide and protect and give them security, how can they do that with the best probability to do that with a man and not fall victim to the guys that are going to waste their time and tell them everything they want to hear so they can have sex with them?
You need to build up your worth as a woman. And when I say build up your worth, I mean, keep your legs shut until you find a man that is a high value man. And I don't think I have to explain what a high value man is to any females watching this. If I have to, then you need to not have sex with another man until you look it up.
Okay. Like Lithi, like, let me ask you, like, because you guys both have daughters, right? Like, what are you gonna tell? What are you gonna advise your daughters to tell them? Okay, this is how you know the men who's gonna waste your time, and this is how you know this is the man that's gonna give you, this is that's gonna take you seriously. Like, what are you telling them?
I think it's not necessarily telling them like, this guy is good for you. Like, if you teach your daughter to have worth, like to have self-worth, it really doesn't matter who they would know. Like, my daughter would already know by off of just what I teach her. Like, it really doesn't matter, like, like if that guy is a good guy or that guy, because regardless of what it is, I, as a parent, I could tell her, like, this is the guy that I want because he has all the money and stuff and all that. But my daughter is going to know that I taught her to have self-worth. And why I say that, I'm not like, I'm gonna just go back to it because like Tui said, it's all about the society, the environment we're in. It goes off of that, because I could be teaching my daughter like how to be a woman, but if everything else is around her is clouding like her mind, she's gonna somewhat like not gonna listen to what I say. You know what I'm saying? She's not gonna be perfect like she's gonna know it. And she's gonna know it. I think it has to do with what we teach out. Because for me, I have a strong like opinion about things. When I get my mind on stuff, like I'll have it like because of the way I was raised, So I feel like as a mother with girls, as long as I do my part, my girls are gonna make decisions on their own, but they'll know what I taught them, to have self-worth. Like I said, like meeting Henry, he's a savage. He's the only person I've been with because I had self-worth with my body. I was just out there opening my legs to anybody and whoever walks my way. You know what I'm saying? Because of who taught me and who I was around as a little girl. So yeah, marriage is a part of the thing, but at the same time, like remove everything out of it, like remove religion and all of that stuff. I think as a person, because mentally that plays a part, emotionally that plays a part. If you and your partner know what's up, then I'm not saying marriage is not a thing. I'm just saying like you would know your self-worth. It wouldn't matter like who's gonna date your daughter. You know what I'm saying? Because your daughter's gonna know.
Kids, especially young females, they learn by example. So
yes. So for me, like just going off my experience, like I said earlier, I didn't grow up with my mom. I'm grateful for my grandma, but even her marriage was perfect for the first 14 years. Still, my dad stepped out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why maybe it did kind of traumatize me a little bit about marriage. But I'm saying like, even from whatever decision you make, it doesn't dictate your future. Like, I'm not saying like, don't get married. And I'm not saying that. I think you as a person, if women just shut their legs and have respect for themselves, we wouldn't have to worry. We wouldn't have this conversation. We wouldn't have to worry about having a kid out of wedlock because women will know their self-worth. And I'll be honest, guys are animals. They're very how do you say it? Like they don't know how to just put their shit in their pants. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So women, if we have headstrong and say no sex, men are gonna back up unless situations are different. But I'm just saying, like, if women is gonna be like, if I know I'm worthy enough to wait for that one guy, which I did, savage, I would wait. I wouldn't even care about anybody else around me because I have respect for myself. So to answer your question, as far as my daughters, I'm not speaking to anybody else. My girls are gonna know that they have self-worth because it starts from home. So whatever the society and whatever the environment, then yes, they're gonna fall short. I'm not gonna say they're perfect. They're gonna be perfect for everything that I taught them, but they will always remember what I taught them because, like I said, they learn from example, like me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Okay. And before I move to two, I just want to ask you, like, are there certain like traits do you tell your daughter, this is certain traits in men that you should avoid, and this is certain traits in the good men that you should go towards? So, okay, if you see these traits, the probability of him being a shitty partner, if you see these traits, the probability is going to be better with him. Do you have those? What kind of traits do you tell your daughter to see?
Yeah, I just tell her to look at her dad. I'm just kidding. I'm not. No. Like I don't. Like I said, Will, I'm not worried about that. Like I don't tell her like, look at that guy, and that's the guy you got to look for. Look at that guy, and that's the guy
you're providing information like about life. That's what I'm saying. Like
of course, when we have a mother and daughter conversation, but as far as like, I have no fear that my daughter is not gonna. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm very confident that my daughter is going to respect herself and she's going to make the right choice. Because like I said,
fair enough.
I'm firm. I don't know how to say it, but because I know my daughter and I know how I am, I feel like it's not anything that I got to worry about because my daughter is going to know her self-worth and I don't, because regardless of what decision she's going to make, she's going to learn from the consequences of what I already did on my part. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
No, I mean, the reason why I bring that up is like traits, because one of the things I hear from a lot of women, right, is like, when they had sex at a really young age, they had sex with the wrong men, they had sex with the weak men, they had sex with a guy that was broke, he had no career, he had no ambition. And you guys know this, right? When we're young, we don't know what the fuck's going on with the world. Mm-hmm. We're so young. That's why traditionally, in all times, you let the parents decide who your partner is because your parents knew what traits or what certain partner to pair you up because they understand life. As an adolescent, you don't know what life is. You don't understand what's really going on. And to give that authority to young people under age of 18, hey, you know what? You should know how to pick a partner. And that's why I believe like staying away from sex is important for both men and women, is because you're able to look at a person and a relationship very practical and logical, because you guys know when you have sex, now you're emotionally involved with that person. And you will overlook all the traits, all the shit, all the signs that tells you this partner is probably not a good partner for you. You're probably with a bum. You're probably the guy that's wasting your time. But when you put sex in there, it makes your emotions, it takes over and you ignore all the red flags. That's why for me, it's important to remove the sex, especially for women, so you can really look at the relationship at a very practical level and like, you know what, is this guy really the guy for me? I mean, the guy doesn't have a job. The guy he has no ambitions for his life. He has mood issues. He has issues with his emotionally. He got some unresolved issues. He has anger issues. These are things that you find out as a woman as you grow older, because as you grow older, now you learn more about life and what to look for. But that's why it's good for me. I think for me, if you want to attract a strong male, a strong man, a strong father, it's good to look at a practical view. But as women, you guys are a little bit more emotional. But once you have sex, you're emotionally connected with that man. And I always hear from a lot of women, when you have sex with the person, the guy that pops your cherry, like you have a deep connection with that guy. So if you're having sex for the first time as a woman, and that guy tends to be a bum, you can overlook all of that because that's the guy you've had sex with. You're gonna be attached to that guy. And God forbid you have a kid with them, and then that's a whole nother, and that just changes your life forever. So that's why for me, I think it's important to have these conversations, to tell women to withhold from sex, so you can really look at your partner and ask yourself, is this the type of partner I really want? And also, if you're withholding from sex, you can get older. As you grow older, you get a lot more smarter. You realize you learn more about life, but you don't have the risk of getting pregnant. Like you're aging as a woman and getting older, you're 20, 25, 30. But now but at least you're not pregnant. You don't have a kid no more, because once you bring the kid into the equation, then it creates all those issues I mentioned in the statistics. Tui, your thoughts. And Daniela, what's up, Daniela? Thank you for joining all the way from New Zealand. Much love, man. I'm gonna get to you, but I know you have some things to say. But yeah, Tui, what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts?
I just want to throw out my first experience with sex. I was 17. I found a friend that also did not have sex, but wanted to have sex. We had two people we wanted to have sex with, but we didn't know anything about sex. So we researched sex and then decided to have sex with each other before we had sex with the people we wanted to have sex with. It wasn't that bad, and it wasn't emotional. It was educational. Also, that was when I learned for the first time that what you see in porn, not a real thing. So for those of you out there who are trying shit that you see in porn, you're dumbasses.
It was the first time. You gotta give him some slack. can't be a porn man first time.
I mean, we tried a bunch of stuff. We got a lot of material, figured out what we liked, what we didn't like. And it was it wasn't that bad. It was cool. We seemed super experienced, so people we did want to have sex with. So it was a win-win. But as far as the kinds of things that I am trying to teach my daughter, because she's turning 13 next year. And like I said, our society is sick. And there's a lot of things that as a single mother, you have to protect your daughter, but you can't be with her all the time. And in the end, our kids are going to do what they're going to do. So I'm going to give you the adult version of what I teach my kid, a high value man is a man who can say no to pussy. If you can't, a real man, he'll say no to pussy. If you a real man, you are not going to let some big titty bitch shaking her ass in front of you derail you from your career, ambition, and drive. A high value man knows that you got to make that paper and the bitches will fall to you. And how you find these high value men are who they surround themselves with. That's how you're really going to tell what kind of man they are. Because I don't care what anyone says, the kind of men that your man surrounds himself with is the kind of man he is. So are those men that he's surrounding himself with, what kind of positions do they hold? What are they to their family? Like, what do they do, you know, in their off time? What kind of extracurriculars are they, you know? You can tell. Same with women, you know? I mean, I have my friends that I like to go out with, but then, you know, Hawaii is a small place, so I got to be careful because, you know, I like seeing my friends act like thoughts, but I am not. So, you know, you just got to be careful with who you surround yourself with. So.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right. Thank you, Tui. And I have some, you said something I want to ask Lithi and both of you guys. I'm going to save it after Daniela's response. Well, be prepared. But I'm going to come back to you guys. Yeah. Daniela, thank you for joining the chat, the convo. And what's your thoughts about today's topic and things that has been said so far?
It's a really good topic. And I've got a very interesting and unique perspective on a lot of things, including my own experience. So I think the essence of the topic is not necessarily marriage, but how we define marriage and commitment, and whether it's all right to have kids outside of that commitment or not. I think majority of anyone who keeps up with your channel will know my stance on marriage. I hate the fucking way modern society looks at marriage. It's almost as it's the first step into commitment. But to me, and I go back to how I view dating and getting into relationship. I date people first before I get into a relationship. And the reason for that is I want to establish my boundaries and find out things that I don't like and like with the other person, and then figure out where the compromise lies. So whether that's something that we can both walk away equally taking part of it, or is it a compromise where one party is walking away with a stronger hand than the other? So when I speak to a lot of young men that comes through construction based on my role as a project manager, and that's the advice that I give to them. You should go into modern day dating as just that. You are dating to find out what are the compromises that you are willing to take based on the other person being fully themselves. And then once you've figured out if this person's right for you or not, then you commit into a relationship. To me, that is the equivalent of marriage to me. When I met my partner, we met through Tinder. I was going through my phase of really early days of my, really early days of my ambitions. So I didn't have a lot of time to go out clubbing and meet people the traditional way. So Tinder was the most convenient thing for me. And it was more or less to satisfy a physical need rather than looking for an emotional tie. And every time I meet a person, I would always lead into the conversation with, I'm not here for a long time. I'm just here to have sex and enjoy my time. I'm way too busy with my career. I've only been promoted into a management role. You know, that's much more important to me than a relationship right now. However, if it develops further, I'm willing to get into a relationship, given it's the right environment, you know, it's the right compromises. We both have equal part in it. And that's where I'll progress it further. So I've had a few of those and eventually ended up with my partner. And throughout the sort of 6 to 8 months we were dating, you know, she was really feminine. She, even though we didn't have any emotional tie to each other, she would, you know, make sure she would come to my work. I would do super illegal shift run where I'd spend 3 days on site, you know, sleeping in every corner of the building site where there's no activity, just so I can wake up early enough to carry on. And that's how crazy committed I was to my ambition. Mm-hmm. And all throughout that time, you know, she came to site, she came and got me food. You know, she was really catering to my basic need without any of the emotional ties. And then from there, I saw, you know, even though she was a mother of one, a single mother, I saw the feminine woman that she was, and I saw how good she was as a mother. And that to me was more than enough for me to commit to a relationship with her. So when I think about the question, I think for women, you should look for a person who's truly wanting to commit to you. And usually those type of men, right from the get-go, would give you an energy where you feel comfortable just being you. regardless of what your qualities are. There's no pressure of you acting a certain way. And I refer that back to the honeymoon phase. A man that's willing to commit to you won't tolerate the honeymoon phase in the sense that he will act a certain way just to attract you. He will be his full self, and the energy that the relationship dynamic would work out from the beginning would be one that is comfortable enough for both of you to be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when we go into, having kids, and for what's the dynamic for me for family and having daughters is that it's my role to show my daughter what a good man is, so she can at least baseline who she looks for in the future. I'm not saying she's going to go and look for qualities that I possess, but at least she's got a baseline and where she can draw some references from in the future. And she might end up with a dumbass. And if she does, it's my role to encourage that relationship to a place where it's healthy for her.
Mm.
We can mold men to be the men that they need to be, not who we need them to be, but the men that they need to be. And that's why I have the firm belief in we should man the fuck up and carry our responsibilities forthright and into the world that we, into the life that we bring into the world. Our children is the most honorable thing that we can do. And a lot of people confuse, the basic care of children with just feeding them, clothing them, and sheltering them as being good parent. No, it's noticing the shift in their behavior and their attitude and their mindset and helping them navigate life in the sense that when they become adults, life is just going to hit them regardless of how much shield you put in front of them. So it might as well give them the necessary tool and the mindset, influence of mindset for them to go out into the world and face it in a way where they build their own resilience themselves, but at least they have the necessary tools.
Okay.
So yeah, from the Wedlock or whatnot, man, I was a dumb kid in the sense that I grew up way too fast. My adopted mother died when I was 6, and I got thrown into the world of manhood at a very young age.
Yeah.
And I slept with my girlfriend at the age of 11, and she was 4 years older than me. And I built up that sort of perspective in sex in my own sort of drive in a very unhealthy way. And it wasn't until I came to New Zealand and gone through even more hardship that I started changing my mindset towards relationship and family in a sense. But what I'm truly grateful for is that I had a strong dad, regardless of how the family dynamic and him being a single dad, he carried out his responsibility to us as a family really well, that I at least had some baseline to base off my own journey as a father and as a husband in a sense. Yeah.
Thanks, Daniela. I do have something I'll ask Daniela after this, but I do want to bring something up real quick. So to Lithi and Tui, because you both said, well, Tui said that, you want your daughter to marry a high value man, right?
Oh no, I just want her to know what.
Well, you prefer her to attract. So
I really need her to understand like what a high value man is compared to what kind of man isn't, because when she starts to get to that dating age, she's gonna that's practice. I just want her to make decent choices for herself, because in the end, like I said, our kids are gonna do what they're gonna do, regardless of what we give them.
Yeah. So another two, you said high value man is a man that has discipline. He's not gonna just have sex with random bitches. He can just commit to one person, right?
I mean, a high value man, you can tell who a high value man is because he can say no to pussy.
Yeah. He has discipline. Yeah, he has discipline, right? He's disciplined.
Yeah,
right?
like
when it comes to sex, he can control himself. So Lithi, the question I want to ask you is, I'm sure you want your daughter to, attract a good man, right? A high value man. That's whatever high value means to you, but I'm assuming it's the good traits of men. And for me, if you look at it like at a biological perspective, right? Like, men are gonna be young boys are gonna be young boys. They're gonna fuck. All right, that's not gonna ever. I don't think that's ever gonna change. Right? It's in our nature to have sex. That's what men do. That's why we create to procreate, to spread the seed. So like the reality is like you're gonna have men will always be men, and they'll do anything to have sex. So what I want to ask you guys is, okay, if you want your daughters to attract good men, okay, and high value men, according whatever that means to you. My question is like, do women know how to attract those men? Because I do believe, every woman wants a high value man. That's great. Everybody wants to be successful. That's great. But do you know what it takes to do to be successful? Or do you know what to do to attract that quality man? Because I hear that from a lot of women today. I want a quality man, I want a high value man. They have no idea. And the one thing I do know for a fact that you want to attract a high value man, if you be a hoe, if you sexualize yourself, and if you have children with other men. Because like you said, men who have purpose, they're building their goals and dreams, they want to start a family. If they had an option, they would prefer to start a family with themselves. They don't want to raise another man's child. I'm not saying there's men out there, but I'm just saying if you want to be honest, for most men out there that's working so hard to build their future, create a legacy, and be ambitious, I'm sure they're gonna attract a lot of women. They'd rather pick a woman that they can build his own children with, and not raise another man's child. And also, within our nature as men, we're very territorial with the women. So like, if you're out there, you want a high value man, you want a good man, but you're out there showing your ass and tears on social media, you're sleeping, having kids out of wedlock with other men, your chances of attracting those men is probably 0 to none. It's probably very low. So what I see from a lot of women is they have no idea is that they want a high value man, but wanting something and attracting something is two different things. So like, do these women know how to attract this? So my question to you guys, you both have daughters. What do you teach your daughters on how to attract good quality, high value men? And I'm just interested to hear that, because I think a lot of women have no idea. They're being told like, oh yeah, be hoes, go out there and have sex with random men and have kids with random most of baby daddies, but they think that they're gonna attract this top tier men. Because there's these top tier men that they want. Just not all guys are like that. So like, if you want, like, everything has a price to pay. If you want a quality life, you want a quality man. If you want a quality woman, like every man can't get a quality woman. You have to work for that quality woman and be ambitious, be a great provider, protector, be strong, be responsible, have discipline, like Tui said. So these are things that men have to do to attract quality women. But do women know what to do to attract quality men? Because for me, I see the delusion on social media. They can do anything they want to do and be hoes, but they think in their mind they're gonna attract. But I want to ask from you guys, like, what do you teach your daughters? Like, this is your, like, this is how you should live to attract high quality men and good men. Let's start with you, Lithi.
I'm so happy you brought this up, Will, because me and my mom, my nephew.
I'll go to it and I'll come back to you. I'll go to it and then I'll come back to you. Go ahead to it.
It's okay because I'm blank.
Yeah, because I'm saying a lot of women, but they want high quality men. They want quality, but like they say, if you want quality, you have to be quality. That's just the way life works. If you want something better, you have to be better. Everything starts with you. Like, you can't want quality and you're shit, right? It doesn't work that way. If you want the best thing out of life, you have to become a better version of yourself and be a best version.
Yep.
Be the best version. It doesn't. So for me, when it comes to relationships, it's so delusional for me. For men and women too, it goes both ways. But since we're talking about women, they want a high quality man, but like their lifestyle doesn't reflect it. But they're told, oh no, it's okay, But then the reality hits. But Tui, go ahead. Do women really know how to attract quality men? And like you have a daughter, what do you teach her?
Yeah, no, women don't know how to attract a high quality man. And if we're speaking specifically towards Polynesian women, no, because Polynesian men, okay. So your husband brought up something the last time we were on this podcast. Savage said, what happens in the Polynesian community doesn't apply to what happens out in the real world, which is kind of true, because Polynesians, like, we make up 0.5% of the United States population. That's so tiny. Yeah. So, but our culture, our people, some of these things don't apply to us, because the majority of Polynesian men they cater to or falter to our women. So our definition of high value is different. Like, I'm going to speak from my perspective really quick, because I dated white guys most of my life. I married one, you know? And so I do know how to attract a high value man outside of our culture, because I spent a lot of time in the Palangi culture. You know, I spent a lot of time in the mainland, but I spent a lot of time in business, in corporate industries. So, you know, I know what they like, I know what they don't like, you know? So like, our Polynesian standards are different. So are we speaking real world, or are we speaking poly world?
Well, it's real world. I mean, like, what are, like, high quality, it doesn't matter. High quality men, what race it is. If you're a high quality man, high quality is not, it does based on color, ethnicity. If you're a good person, you're a good person, right? So I'm not specifying to specific under. If I'm, whoever she chooses to be with, whether it's a specific under, whether it's white, black, how does she attract quality from all?
Okay. How does she attract quality? So I mean, women don't care. I mean, we care what men look like, you know, because we're attracted to each other right off the bat. But women are less likely to care what men look like. They care more about what their personality is like. Men care about our physical attributes. So, okay. I mean, technically, ladies, like, thick is cool. A little bit of a belly is okay, but like,
say it to it.
Kevin Samuelson, get the flat tummy, because that's like, you know, get the flat tummy if you have to worry about your looks. Like, at least make your body look good. If, you know, you can't be displaying too much skin, you know, you have to let men know that you're going to be a good mother, you're going to be a good wife, and that you're compliant. You know, you're willing to be submissive to the right man. And okay. So these are the bare minimum of how to attract a high value man. And high value could mean anything financially, but I mean, technically high value, 100K plus. Sorry, my neighbors are shooting off fireworks.
Oh, no worries.
Just another day in YNI. Sorry.
So, what about anything else? Anything else you want to add to that? Oh, no worries. All right.
More fireworks.
More fireworks. That's all good. All right. All right. So, yeah, I mean, everything you said I think it's true. I think looks. Let's be honest. Looks has a big, you know, that's what we look for. We infatuated about women's beauty. So yeah, Lithi, same thing with you. Like, same question. Like, how do a woman attract a high quality man, a good man, a good man, a high quality man? Lithi.
I think Tui said it all. I'm just kidding. No, I don't think. I'm just gonna speak on my experience. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, with Savage, when we met, we didn't know how each other looked, to be honest. It was just going off by, you know, being, you know, like we didn't know how because you know how back in the days we didn't really like have social media like that. Like, everybody just kind of like.
What'd you have? MySpace?
Yes, Bebo. I'm just kidding.
Bebo.
So you know, we, like, I think it's so different nowadays, because it's like, yeah, men do like want to know how women look like. I don't think necessarily women even care, to be honest. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So no, that's not even like a thing. I'm telling you, like, when I first met Savage, like, he attracted me by just the way he was talking to me, like on the phone. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it was just like his intelligence. He was just so smart. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, that already got my attention. And then of course, meeting him, for him, it was like about my looks, like the way I look, like, you know, so we laugh about it now, but nowadays, like, I don't even think they even know. They met each other, they go fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't even take the time to get to know each other and things like that. So to answer your question, women, I really don't think women even care about any of that shit. But for what I tell my girls, to be very honest with you, like I think I'm a bomb ass mom, to be honest. What I teach my daughter, like, and why I say this, I really don't care what's out there, to be honest. And I think it's because of how I am as a person, the way I was brought up. I'm very strong-minded, not in a sense where I think I'm better than everyone, but to making the right choices. So I don't even care about what those guys are about out there. Because regardless of what it is, guys are gonna be guys. They're gonna wanna, you know what I'm saying? So
okay.
Yeah, you look like you want to ask more questions.
Okay, because I feel like you're holding back. I feel like you're holding back. So look, I'm gonna go. Okay. All right. I understand you have your experience. All right, I get that. All right.
What are you trying to ask?
Okay, common sense, right? Let's bring it to common sense. Okay, on a common sense level, what should women not do if they want to attract? Should not do if they want to attract a high quality man. I'm trying to get like some
answers.
Some answers, like like in your perspective, because you have common sense. I mean, there should be everybody knows what to do, what not to do. If you don't learn, life will teach you. Life will teach you eventually.
Right.
If you don't attract a mate, like you start looking within yourself. Okay, nobody's coming.
Stop
to my
being
door,
a hoe. Honestly.
Okay, I mean that's one of them. That's one of them.
Stop being a hoe. And get this is they do what they see. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to say like some moms out there are being a hoe, but no lies. There's moms out there who like have their kids as like their best friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no boundaries. So what they do and the way they talk around their kids is exactly what they're gonna pick up. So really, it's really from who raised them. Like I don't think it's necessarily like, what attract the guys, like who. I don't think it has to do with that. I think as a woman, as a girl, like if you're taught self-worth, you will attract any type of man, rich, poor, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But if you stop being a hoe, then like I think that's my answer. Just stop being a hoe, have respect for yourself, and that's that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't think it has to be that complicated. Like if you just know, like just stop being a hoe, close your legs, and have respect for yourself, because you're not gonna find a guy that way. You know what I'm saying? Like Henry wasn't like the wealthiest man ever, but he attracted me by his everything about him, like everything that he did. Like no lie, there's too much information, but I wanted to be the one, doing it first. And he said no. He was like, no. Like, that right there was just, it was kind of like a test. He said it wasn't a test, but it was like, I knew that he was the one, because like every man would just be like, yeah, let's get it on. You know what I'm saying? But for a guy to say no, that lets me know, like, yeah, you do have respect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, there, I'm done.
You know what I'm saying to that, Savage?
Wait, what?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about, Savage. That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
But you see the dilemma, right? You said, like you said, common sense, right? Women don't be hoes if you want to attract quality men. But you see it like today, modern society, right? That's what they're telling women to do, right? It's
be a hoe.
Yeah, no, you know your worth. If you know your worth as a woman, go be a hoe, go have sex. You can be like a man. It's okay. But like I said, they're not telling. But that's not reality. That's what my issue. Like, I don't care if you want to. Hey, if you want to be a hoe, that's fine. But you have a place in this world. We need hoes out there. When I get lonely, that's who I call. All right. But what I'm saying is, there's repercussions. That's what I'm saying. There's consequences, and a lot of these girls having kids, being hoes, having kids out of wedlock, they when the repercussions hit and the realities hit, it's like I said, it's gonna hit them. And then, but like I said, but they're being told at a very young age that there's no consequences if they go out there and just give away their sexuality to all men. It's random without getting commitment first. Because for me, I do believe it's like if a woman wants to attract a high quality man, her best and avoid toxic men, avoid toxic relationships and things that can hurt her, and avoid having sex and having kids with the wrong man, and save that when you find and attract a good man, and you have a better chance of building something good and successful. But yeah, we have a special guest who just joined us right now. Akanesi, what's up, Akanesi? Woo!
My bad. I'm kind of late.
According to poly time, yeah, you're just
I'm so late. Yeah. So I just got home from work.
That's all good. So, so I'm gonna give a little. So, Akanesi, I'm gonna give you a chance to respond real quick, but it's very interesting how I connected with Akanesi. If you guys don't recognize her, she's from she's one of those girls from the video I posted last week of those girls that were dancing and twerking. So you probably recognize her in a different angle. But I'm very glad that she came up here, but because she saw the video, and I know a lot of people were mad at me for using those public videos that I use to for my content. But she reached out to me and we had a conversation. But I'll let her talk about it because there was a lot of women out there that they were mad at me for posting something.
Can I see the video? I'm just kidding. But yeah, I just want her to come on here and talk about her experience and of when she saw the video and the conversation me and her had later. And because you're 18, right, Akanesi?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think it's really important for the for the young girls that's watching this right now. But yeah, just speak on that real quick. Your thoughts when you saw that video that I posted. Then go ahead.
At first, my cousin sent it to me, and she was like, "Oh, blah 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 blah," swearing, cussing, and all that. And I was wondering what would happen. So then I seen it, and obviously at first I seen it, I got angry because somebody used it without consent. But at the same time, I was just like, why am I getting angry? I put it out in the public. I can't. Somebody can do something way worse than just using it for content or something. So then I said after the live or after the podcast, I'll just talk to William. And honestly, we had the best conversation because low-key my family is the biggest fans of him. And yeah, I don't know why everybody was getting mad, because when you put something in public, you don't have control over it. You don't have control over what people are doing with it. And yeah, I just don't see the point of getting mad. But yeah.
And then also, what were your thoughts about that topic that we discussed last week about sexualizing yourself online? Because I know you shared your experience of your opinion about it, that you stopped doing it, but why?
In my perspective, I really agreed with Tui on it. If you're gonna show yourself as trashy in public, that's what people are gonna view you. And men, that's what you're gonna attract, trashy men. If that's what you're gonna do, just shake your ass online and think that you're gonna find a good man from that. It's not gonna come true. And then, well, I understand yours because religious. My parents were always telling me to cover up, be modest of yourself. Your body's a temple. So I seen it a lot from all of you guys, and I understand. So then that's why I was just like, I gotta be careful to what I'm posting, because this this society is something else.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, I just wanted to give you, I just wanted you. I do want to give you props for reaching out and having a conversation. So, a lot of them, most people get triggered, but the fact that you call me and we had a conversation. You asked me to take one of your videos off another platform, and you gave me your very reasons. I'm not going to tell them why, but I understood those reasons. And for all those out there, I'm a reasonable person. If you're watching this right now, I'm a reasonable person, and I think I just wanted people to hear that part. But yeah, thank you for joining us. Akanesi, you already know the topic at hand. What's your thoughts? Because I know you come from, you're 18, you're from the younger generation, and I'm sure you see a lot of your friends doing these things that we're talking about right now. So what's your thoughts about it?
So first off, when I was in high school, I just graduated high school in May 2021. When I was a junior, the principal announced to us young women that 79% of us got pregnant in junior year. And
Oh, wow.
it was shocking because as me, my parents always taught me to find first, of course, education. After education, you can find a job. After a job, you can find a man, and then married, and then kids. That's how my household was. But for other kids, I see them drinking, I see them smoking, I see them going out, I see them partying with their own parents. And I'm just like, it's crazy because you think a parent would have boundaries with a kid, but I guess sometimes in this society, it's better for a parent to be best friends with their child, and it's never really the right decision.
You live here in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Are you in Kalihi?
No, I'm in Maui.
Oh, you're in Maui.
Yeah.
Okay. Lahaina Luna?
No, Maui High.
Maui High? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
No, it's all good. But like it was just so common for Hawaii kids to drink and smoke with their parents. But my Tongan parents were never like that. They'd beat my ass. But all I have for advice for girls that are watching this and who are ever gonna watch this is don't have kids at an early age. You just ruining your life. And sometimes, yes, you can have kids and your life can get better or something. It's just that live your life when you're young. There's no reason to just rush into marriage and rush into having kids. Have time for being young and have time to have your family, have time to go travel around the world, and then settle down and look for a good man. Because all the girls that I seen in my perspective, none of the boyfriends stayed. None of the boyfriends were there to help, were there to be a man and step up. Of course, they ran away or did something else. And yeah.
Okay, Nancy, let me ask you, those 79 girls that were pregnant, do you happen to know any of them?
12 of them are my cousins.
Okay, how's their quality of
Say it again?
right now? How's their quality of life for the ones that got pregnant? Like other like their situation.
I can say that most of them are unemployed and they're relying on their parents. Some of them are working their butts off to provide for her and her child. And some are actually doing good.
What are the boys or the men? What are the boys doing? The guys that got them pregnant?
They're MIA.
MIA. Okay. All right. Okay.
Those fuckers.
Those fuckers, I swear. No, because there was this one girl. I'm not judging her because she was a smart girl. She was an A student. I knew her ever since we were kids. And then she got pregnant. And I was just like, okay. So then the boy was there for the first few years. And then he got somebody else pregnant. And it was the best friend. And I was just like, and then he came back to the smart girl, and then she got pregnant again. I was just like, oh my gosh, you guys don't learn the first time?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it's I mean, I'm not surprised. That's that's not surprising to me. But but basically that's what I'm saying is like, if women are just giving their giving it up to men without fully vetting these men to make sure that these are capable men that's ready for that responsibility. But now you have a child now the situation is different, and And I think, like I say, it just those young girls out there you just mentioned, I pray for them because their life is going to be very difficult, and hopefully they can find make things work in their life. But that's why, like I said, that all those statistics I brought up in the original highlight video I posted on Monday. If you have kids with a man that hasn't shown you that he's fully committed and willing to take the responsibility of taking care of you and your family, you're gonna there's a lot of consequences and ramifications, and not only for you as a woman, but also for your children. Taniela, I'm a big Akanesi. Big gotta give a shout out to Akanesi. Joining us on the Double Talk podcast, but I'm gonna come back to you, Akanesi. Right now we were discussing high quality. How can women attract high quality men, right? So, Lithi said, ladies, don't be hoes. All right. And then Tui, you said, look at the men he hangs around with, like his quality of network, right? That's what Tui said. Look at if he's hanging around a bunch of guys that's drinking, partying, have no ambitions, that's probably a reflection of that guy too as well.
Don't forget the discipline.
Oh yeah. Make sure he's disciplined enough to say no to the hoes that Lithi was talking about. All right, so but yeah, for you, Daniela, for how can women attract a good man, a high quality man?
Yeah, there's a couple of things I want to touch on before I go into that. The first one is what Akanesi was saying. There is this narrative where we're teaching kids, especially young boys, that if you have kids young, your life is ruined. And I think that's part of the reason why young men tend to run away when they get girls pregnant. And I talk to a lot of people about this. It's like, if by chance you accidentally get someone pregnant during your high school years or whatnot, you should see that as an opportunity to not only learn about yourself and the sense of where your resilience is, but it's also a really good time to reflect on your values and what values you wish to build up. Because we often hear this narrative where, you need to go travel and you can't travel when you have kids and all of this sort of stuff. It's almost as we're saying we can't travel when we're old, when our kids have gone, when they have their own life. So to me, we need to take that completely out of the equation when we teach kids, especially young men, is that when you have a family, there are responsibilities that come before leisure or the luxury of having holidays, but it is a worthwhile responsibility, and it's an honorable one to raise kids. I think that's where we should start, especially now in modern day. The reason why I'm as crazily ambitious as I am is so that I may build my children to a point where they have some good values, they can survive on their own, so that I can take my partner, fuck off, and tell my kids to go out and survive. You've built yourself based on what I've taught you. Now go and survive and find whatever is the true meaning to your own life. And to me, that's how I view it, and that's how I'm teaching my own children. The other one is how do women attract
high quality men?
High quality men.
Good men, yeah.
I think every woman knows there is an innate feeling in a woman to go after men that will provide for them. I think it's the confusion of society that's pulling all these different opinions on who they should be, that's confusing them on their own feeling of who a good man is. I mean, women are women have the ability to be empath and crazily be good at it. They can feel energy, and that's one of the natural gift that they have that makes them good mothers, is they just feel who a good person is or who isn't. And I think with the way that modern society are teaching these women and the young girls is to go against their nature. So therefore, it becomes much more confusing who to dial in and who a good man is. But for me, when I looked at if I try and knuckle down what quality a woman should have to attract a high quality man, just be feminine, be comfortable in your own ability to be a woman, regardless of whether you're independent or not. Be comfortable in your own ability to be a woman and to be beautiful in your own skin, regardless of how you dress it. You have that sort of mindset towards the world, and not only that, embrace the gift that is bestowed upon women, that is to give life. And by doing that, you start navigating your life in the sense of you want to be a good mother, you want to be a good partner, you want to raise children. When you have a mindset that is aligned with those values, you start enacting naturally based on your own feeling as a woman. And like we've said in a couple of podcasts, as men, we don't care what your status is. We don't care what you bring to the table. That's our role. And we're happy doing that. We will go through the impossible to make sure that our women are catered for and that they have the space to be who they truly are. But we're now in a society where we're confusing women, and we're telling women, you can be the successful woman and you can start a family whenever you feel like it, as if it's a button that you just switch on. Just like how men has to build their value, women has to build the sort of mother that they want to become in the future. It's hard work, but it's beautiful when you do it to the best of your ability.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think you.
I could listen to you all day. Your accent is just, and your voice is just so soothing.
Don't come for me, Savage.
No, so thank you for sharing that, Daniela. Yeah, and I think you made a great point for a lot of men out there. If they have kids at a very young age, their immediate judgment that they feel is like they're a failure.
Your life is ended. Yeah,
it's over. It's over, right?
Yeah.
So I think you made a great point out there. Yeah, if you have kids, if you happen to have kids, even if it's a girl that you probably don't have strong feelings, it was like one night stand. It's not over. There's still ways that you can go about it and be a super great father for that kid's life. Next, I want to ask you the same question I asked these the panel guests. Like how do you what do you know so far right now? Like according to your opinion of how to attract a high quality man or a good man?
In my age.
Yeah. Well, you're an adult. You're an adult now. You're 18. So what, based on the information, what you've been taught so far in your life experience, like if you wanted to attract a good guy, what do you do? Like, how would you go about it? What would you do? Because it's interesting. I mean, for me, it's interesting to hear.
To me, it's I got taught to be ready for myself, to love myself, to have my life set before getting a man. My parents always told me to never rely on a man, never rely on a man when it comes to money, when it comes to thinking, when it comes to love and all that. They always taught me to be independent with myself. And relationship wise, I try to stay off of that because I'm still young and I don't really think of love as of right now. But yeah, to attract a good man is to have good, how do you say it? To have good, just being good for yourself. If a man sees that in you and you see it in the man, that the man's like, he's depending on himself and he knows how to do stuff on his own, and you know how to do stuff on your own, and you guys attract each other, it just makes a stronger bond because you guys aren't relying on each other, but you guys are relying on the relationship that you guys are in. I'm sorry.
Okay.
If this is not making sense to anybody.
No.
Yeah, I miss that 18-year-old innocence too. I'll try to if I could. I'd be 18 one more time.
Man. It's just
But yeah, go ahead.
yeah, just having good intentions for yourself is what attracts good men.
No,
That's
it's
how I
good.
see it.
No, fair enough. Yeah. No, I mean, that's why I said to, in my standpoint is like for women, I especially young women, like we've all through sex and learn and about life and what to look for. Because when we're young, we all know this age when we're young people, we all make dumb decisions. And I believe one of the most biggest decisions that can alter your life and change the trajectory of your future is having children, especially if you're having children with the wrong person, right? That can definitely alter your path, and you can still find ways to overcome it and find your purpose and fulfillment in your life. But for me, it's like why go that path when there's another path which is a lot better, which is don't get pregnant. And like I said, live your life, stay true to yourself, love yourself. Like Lithi said, know your value, have self-respect for yourself. But once you bring the baby into the equation, that's a whole different reality that you're gonna have to face. So that's just my standpoint. But I had a question from somebody that sent me. I'm gonna end off the podcast with that. The question was somebody they're watching this right now. So if you're watching this right now, much love you. Thank you for supporting and watching. But their question is, and I'm gonna start off with Lithi. So their question was like, if you happen to get pregnant as a girl and you don't love the man, right? What do you do, right? So should you still try to that's the question. You had whatever the situation, you had a one-night stand, you just had some sex, but you don't love the guy, but now you have a baby with him. Like, what do you do? What should she do? For me, I believe if you have a baby with somebody, you gotta make it fight. At the end of the day, you gotta own up to your decision and try to figure out a way to make it work. And don't just give up easily. Like a lot, because that's what I hear in the West. If you don't love him, leave him. Don't love him, leave him. But the thing is, you're robbing the opportunity with that child, with the relationship with their father, without giving it a chance to make it work. And accept your responsibility. But Lithi, what's your thoughts for women? That's what she asked. If she has sex with somebody, and she has to love him, what should she do? What's your opinion, Lithi?
And you're saying just like a one night stand and
yeah, I had a one night stand. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, of course, keep the baby. It's not the baby's fault. Of course. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if you don't love the guy, I mean, at least give it a try. You know what I'm saying? Like if there's gotta be a reason why you were attracted in the first place. Maybe he was handsome. There's gotta be something. I've heard stories of couples who like met that day, got married, and still together to this day. But if it's like one of those situations, you gotta give it a try. You don't want to just shut it off and lost your chance. You don't know what's gonna happen. But I would like, I'm that type of person. I like risky stuff. Like I'll try anything unless I'm just like that. I'm feisty like that. So I'll try it out. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. Like I said, you never know. I just want to know that all possibilities, like anything, like you don't know. So if I don't love the guy and then, something happened and I got pregnant, of course I'm gonna keep the baby. I'm gonna try to see if it's gonna work out. If it doesn't, next, so, but yeah, I'll try to see, I'll try to just see what can work out for me, but I'm not going to stay in a relationship that's going to be toxic for me and the baby. You know what I'm saying? So I'll try all possibilities. Like if it's not going to work, then you know what? At least you try. So yeah. At
least try, right? Okay, at least try. Yeah. That's fair enough. Yeah, try it. Yeah. Yeah, because you had sex with the guy, so there's clearly something.
You try that.
There was something.
Right.
Or she could just be a hoe, just give it to anybody.
Next. The next one I stand.
So there was nothing there. She was just being a hoe. All right.
Right.
All right. All right, Tui, same thing. You know, what are your thoughts on women out there have sex with a guy, have a kid, but that they don't love the guy? And what, according to you?
Well, my first question is always, why didn't you use a condom? That's always going to be my first question. But I think everyone needs to get out of this love bubble. Like,
Yeah.
I think the media and our society has been teaching even our generation and, you know, our younger generation that if you're not happy, if you don't love that person, if you don't feel love for that person, leave them. There's a reason they call it falling in love. Like
Disney.
You like someone until you fall in love with them because you get to know them. And love is, it's almost antiquated, right? Like you fall in love with someone that you get to know. So if your ass was stupid enough to get knocked up by that dumbass, then your dumbass needs to be smart enough to stay in that relationship until you figure shit out. So honestly, fucking get married, raise your kid, invest in each other, and fucking figure it out. Like if it's not a good situation, if it's toxic, if he puts hands on you, stab him. If she's a toxic bitch and she fucking all your friends and family members, you know, cut her off. But like, like, I think we need to stop as a society, as people, we need to stop not giving people the benefit of the doubt to be smart, because even smart people can make stupid decisions, but we're all intelligent enough to know what we need to do. I think Taniela talked about it. Common fucking sense. Common sense. You know, get it together, Mary. I don't know what else to tell you bitches. Y'all need
Stop being a hoe.
Yes. Y'all need Jesus. Goodness.
Yeah, I like it, Tui. My response to that.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
That's some facts right there. No, I think you made a great point too, because I think me and Daniela talk about all this time. You know, this modern society, this infatuation with this happiness when it comes to relationships. You know, this Disney fairy tale that everything has to be perfect.
Yeah.
And then in all relationships, it's like we're human. We're gonna have flaws, and it's gonna be shit, right? But we learn to deal with that because we have commitment, because we have responsibility. We feel, you know, we made a commitment to somebody, a vow to somebody. Right, so like you're gonna make, when you make a commitment with somebody, you pretty much saying through thick and thin. That's why, you know, when you have the vows and when you have marriage, that's what I say, with better health and sickness, regardless of what the fuck we're gonna go through in life, we made a commitment to make this work, and people have lost sense of that because everything now is based on how I feel, you know. So, but like in reality, when you talk to people that are married, they're like, fuck, you know, they have their shit. They talk about their marriage, but they're like, you know, my fucking, I hate her. She just drives me nuts. She's annoying, but I fucking love her. You know, I'm like, that's my woman. You know, we go through our shit, but she's not. You know what I'm saying? When you talk to married people, like, they express their dissatisfactions in their marriage, but they know, like, they made a commitment to somebody. They're not going to walk away from that. It's a commitment, and that's why I feel like people are lost at that part. Akanesi, what's your thoughts about, you know, just hearing these girls out here having sex and you don't love them? You know, what do you think about it?
First of all, I want to agree with Tui. What was the condoms? There's so much ways you can get a condom. And another thing, there's another thing. There's all sorts of ways to prevent getting pregnant from a person that you don't love. But if you do get pregnant, you have to be committed automatically, because that's what you guys made as one.
Yeah.
What's it called? If you don't love them, I agree, you can fall in love with somebody. But if it's toxic, you can leave. But just giving a try to something new in your life isn't bad. Because I've seen it happen. And falling in love is a beautiful thing. It's just falling in love with the right person is what counts.
Okay. All right, thanks. And also with the falling in love thing, I always find it funny when I hear girls like they had a one night stand and then they had a baby with the guy, right? And they're like, I don't love him. I was like, you just met him for one day. You're not supposed to love him. What the fuck?
Those are the one that you want to tie them when they're sitting.
Bruh. Oh God.
Oh
Say
my,
that again.
that's the one I want to be.
Let me show you the real love by smacking the shit out of you.
That's what I want to do when I hear this girl. I'm like, oh, I don't love him. I'm like, you're not supposed to love him. Met him for one night.
Use fake numbers. Don't give them your real name, guys. You gotta be careful.
Love comes from action. It comes from the things you go through with somebody and you build something. You're not supposed to love him after the first night. Oh my lord! I digress.
Maybe it was that good.
Oh right, yeah, you love it, yeah. But yeah, that it drives me nuts when I hear that part. But like you said, you have to take responsibility. Like you made a decision with somebody, and now it's time to take accountability. But last but not least, Daniela, what's your thoughts on to conclude the podcast? Yeah, women have sex. They don't love that's the question they asked. I don't love the guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit it first from a different angle in approaching the men. If you get into any sexual relation with anyone, regardless of what your intention is, if the outcome of that is a child, you should really, really, really sit down and think about what you are exposing that child to if you run away from that responsibility. And you should look at the biases that you've been taught growing up of having children outside a relationship, and whether that's worth you keeping to, or is the child worth a lot more in the sense of becoming a dad. There's two parts to the actual question that I see, and it's what should I do if I don't love the guy? First of all, define what love is. Love is not just a feeling for me. It's about a whole lot of different things. The attraction is obviously a big part of it. That's the initial event of love anyway. But love is dedication to a goal that can never be met. However, you dedicate the rest of your life to trying to attain it. And that goal for me is to ensure the safety of my family and the happiness of my family can be achieved to some extent. In the other part of it is, I think if you're a single mom, you should really consider scouting some parent who really want children. A child does a lot better when there's two parent versus one. And although your emotion will be very heavily tied to that child, I think if you find yourself in that situation, you should really, really, really screen people that really want children and think about offering them that child. Because at the end of the day, you can always grow and you can always find a partner and you can work on yourself, but that child does not have that luxury until they're an adult. And the crucial time in their life is between the ages of 1 and 5. And that's where they need the most love, the most dedication. And that's why the role of a mother is such a beautiful and divine thing when they do the best that they can every day in the first 5 years of that child. I know a lot of people, especially women who find themselves in that situation, would disagree with me and would go, you need to love that child, you need to give it the effort that you need. But to me, I think you really should consider giving that child to someone to people who can dedicate their time, love, affection, and care to that child. Because to me, 2 parents is better than 1, regardless of what the situation is.
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot more that I want to hit with this, but I know you have a time well, so we'll carry it on in the next podcast when we have the chance.
No worries. Thank you so much, Daniela. Appreciate it. Thanks so much. So yeah. Thank you so much for all those watching this right now. Thank you so much for watching. If you love the content, love what we do, please press that like, subscribe button. But just at the end of the podcast, I'll say to the panel of guests, thank you so much for joining on some of your busy lives, busy time. Always much appreciated you guys be on here. But like I said, I just want to ask for everybody real quick, what did you take away from it? and what's your handle, social media handle, so people can find you. So with you, Lithi, what's your takeaway from our discussion tonight, and how can people find you, Lithi?
Yeah, just have respect for yourself. You know, I don't want to really say stop being a hoe. They're gonna be a hoe regardless, you know, privately or out there. I'm saying, nah, just you know, it's just for all. Like, have respect for yourself and just be humble and be kind to one another. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's what I got from here. And then just, you know, I just want to tell you, Will, thank you for having you guys on here. And if you want to look for me, don't look for me. I'm just kidding. No, we have our podcast with Our 7 the podcast. That is me and Savage. Of course we have our own individual IG as well. But if you're looking for that, we have our own podcast, Our 7 the podcast. And then if you want to follow me, it's Lithi_Savage. So yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
you can find me on there. Yeah.
No more, Lithi.
I just want to say something. Lithi, my parents are such big fans of you and your husband. Just to let you know.
Oh,
it's like the biggest.
In a good way or what?
Oh no, in a good way. They watch you and Will's podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents knew that I was coming on live, so they were just like, make sure to say hi to them for me. I was like, no. But yeah, thank you.
All right. Yeah, no worries. And to your Akanesi's parents, I'm gonna give you a much love. Ofatu. Thank you so much for watching. Being fans. Ofatu malo apito. All right. Tui, same thing. What's your takeaway, and how can people not find you?
Nobody, please don't. I'm on my last social media anyway. Before I get thrown out, I might actually have to start a TikTok. 1, use condoms. 2, get birth control if you are too embarrassed to use condoms. And if you're too embarrassed to use condoms, don't have sex. Also, just I'm gonna add on top of everything else. If you're gonna be a hoe, be the best fucking hoe you can be. If you're gonna come out here and you want to find a solid man, keep your legs shut, keep your eyes open for high value men. You know, I don't need to tell you what they are. You know who they are. You also know who the fuck boys are. So if you fuck with the fuck boys, expect to get fucked in a good way and a bad way. And if you're in Hawaii and you're too broke or too shamed to get prophylactics, please look me up at King Tui on Instagram, and I will drive to wherever you are on Oahu and throw a bunch of magnums or small magnums at you so you can be safe and not sorry.
All right. Thank you. All right. For all the great hoes out there. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you, Tui. Always love your opinion on my show. Thank you for joining us tonight. Akanesi, same thing. Thank you for jumping on, Akanesi. I really appreciate you for jumping on. What's your thoughts about our conversation tonight, and how can people find you if you want to be found?
If you want to be a hoe, at least be a smart hoe. You know, use condoms, use birth control. You want to spread your legs wide to the high, go ahead. Just be smart about it.
Wake up, Maui.
That's what I'm saying, man. But if you are on Maui, just to let you know, Planned Parenthood has a whole shelf of free condoms.
Free condoms.
So if you guys, anyways.
How you know?
But
I'm just kidding.
How I know, because my friends told me. My friends told me to go pick up some condoms for them.
Lithi, she said, be smart. Why did Lithi be smart?
You gotta be smart. You gotta be smart. If you're gonna be a hoe, gotta be smart. No, but just be smart about it. If you are just trying out something, of course, be comfortable with the person. And if you don't love the person, you know, don't be dumb about things. Yeah, but just be smart about it. And Don't find me. No.
Yeah, they already know. They already know who you are.
Don't find me.
I know. After last week, yeah, Akaneshi doesn't want to reach out no more.
I'm good. But
Got you. All right.
thank you, Will, also for letting me be on the podcast, because I know it's different for you guys because I'm so young, and usually young people don't really watch these things or be a part of these things. But I really appreciate you guys having me here.
No, good. No, and also, I mean, I actually empower young people to come on because, we all come from different generations. But I think more and more young people need to, like, the stuff that we talk about is the stuff that we eventually gonna experience in our life, and these are things for me, I would want to learn. That was like 18, like you. I would love to hear this type of conversations from my own people at 18, but I didn't go through it, and I had to learn the hard way. So yeah, thank you for jumping on. And anybody out there that's 18 that's watching this right now, you're a young person, you always want to jump on this and have a conversation with us. You're always welcome. Just click on the public Zoom link. And last but not least, Daniela, man, your thoughts and how can people find you?
Yeah, first of all, don't find me. You won't find anything useful at all. But I know majority of the viewers and especially your followers will support you, but there's also a large mass of people, including young women, who flock into your comment section and crucify you in the sense of you're sexist, whatever those smart words are. I didn't finish high school, so I'm not gonna
misogynist.
I won't even attempt. I won't. And yeah, it's aimed towards women because essentially women are the gatekeeper for sex, and majority of the problem that we face now is due to sex, and not knowing the outcomes that come from it. But to the young men that are watching this podcast, or even the older men, I think a couple of podcasts ago we had Chris who came on and really resonated with the message. I'm going to say it again. Man the fuck up. And this is not a plight of you're a pussy or whatever the world may deem you. Man the fuck up is a call to be resilient and to take accountability of your own life. There is nothing worse than an overgrown child that has gone way past their due time to go out into the world and to protect and provide for a family. There is nothing worse than that. They are a problem not only for themselves, but to the people around them. So as men, we have to create our values. That comes with a great cost, but one that will benefit you for the rest of your life. And if you don't know what a man is in the sense of good quality, good morals, ambition, reach out to the podcast. Let's disagree to agree, but let's have the talanoa, because at the end of the day, you won't know what you don't know until you speak to someone else who may know something else about the same pathway that you're walking. So yeah, man, much love to everyone. And I don't know how Will keeps letting me come in on these podcasts. I'm pretty sure some people are very tired of hearing me talk, but again, grateful.
No.
And thank you for having me from all the way from New Zealand. And yeah, reach out, people. Come on, let's have the talanoa. That's the only way we can learn.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So thank you so much. Karens. Yeah, thank you so much. And all my Karens out there watching this. All right, no worries. But thank you so much for all those watching this right now. Hello, people, if you guys watching this, and if you appreciate all the love and support, we do this every single Wednesday. And to all you guys, please support. If you love my channel and you love the host and you wanna support them, please support them in their channel and their everything they do in their platforms. They're doing great things, and you can learn a lot from them that you may not find on my platform. But of course, we come to the end. Thank you so much for all you guys. You guys have a blessed night. All right, y'all. Peace.